Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
Marcus, how are you dealing with the vision of this effigy of your father being immolated?
I've got to be real with you. I did not enjoy it.
That was your father?
No, that wasn't actually my father. That was a cardboard cutout of my father that Mercy wanted to use to scare you.
Oh, it was a cardboard cutout then. He turns back around and looks at you, Mercy. Oh, top marks on that one, actually.
I certainly thought so. Sorry about your father.
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh, no, wait. If it's a cardboard cutout, then, look. He motions over. The fire, the pink flame, just sits atop the cardboard. Don't worry, this fire only affects flesh.
Oh, so, that's great.
Yes, just
cutting edge.
Just give it some time. It'll burn out. No, don't go over now.
Don't touch it. Just don't touch it.
That's a huge danger, actually.
Pink fire.
Also, the window will heal on its own.
Like will? Did you make those too?
Yes, actually. He looks over at you and smiles. Are you a fan of alchemy by any chance?
Well, I'm not incredibly knowledgeable in that specific field. Harlock's actually a masterful alchemist. I'm just more of a magic jack of all trades.
Oh, you flatter me.
Harlock, you look over at this burning effigy of Marcus's father that is frankly terrifying, adorned in pink flames, and almost the bottle-like windows begin to regenerate around the hole, punched through it by the canister.
Does this window remind me of any other bioorganic things that we've been seeing lately?
No, actually. This is quite different. The way it spreads, it's almost...
There's a lot of living walls.
Basically, the best way to put it is, and after looking at Mercedes' gloves, this person seems to have an expertise with different forms of frost alchemy, and the spreading of this glass almost seems like ice reconnecting itself.
That's neat.
The fire on the outside is very much not icy, though. That continues to burn Marcus's dad.
I was wondering why it was cold.
We should allow that to burn overnight. I think that should be enough to dissipate the flames. No one sleep in the third guest room. That is directly above my lab. You will not get any sleep. The pink will be there all night.
It's fine. I don't sleep anyway.
Oh.
That sounds like a challenge.
Wait. You don't... He looks over at Mercedes.
Yeah, I know. It concerns me too.
I've been worried about it for a while now.
Is she some sort of, automaton?
No.
Thank you.
Oh, I knew that was coming. No. Harlock just has this curious belief of if you will it long enough, it's gonna happen. No.
So far, so good.
Well, actually, Harlock and... Sorry, I got so distracted. I just... Let me focus again. So I'm so flustered. We're here for, one, to see you again, because I missed you.
He smiles.
Also, I thought we could mix business with pleasure. You see, I've also procured many fascinating things in our travels. We've actually made contact with the tower. I've been able to bring a sample of that, as well as the nearby dirt and combination of the material of the tower, as well as how it reacts to heat. We brought a spear back. That's about it.
Oh, we have that gelatinous cube.
That's the pulsating mass, and it has nothing to do with the angels. Thank you.
Oh, you've provided me with a pulsating mass.
The pulsating mass.
Oh, the pulsating mass from the palace?
Yes. Oh, you know it?
during my
Do you know what it is? Can you tell me what the fuck it is?
during
We took it and replaced it with a perfectly weighted bag of sand.
during my stint at the Capitol, Mercy and I mostly were unable to access the palace proper, so the pulsating mass remained forever outside of my fingertips. He thinks about that.
Well, no longer.
Well, congratulations. You can now get your fingers into it as much as you like.
Wear gloves, dear.
Looks back at Mercy. These three are delightful.
They are, aren't they?
I've never been called delightful.
I thought that he hated us.
He looks at you. He absolutely looks like he hates you. Well, if you would permit me to study all of these things, I can write you up a report. Is it okay? I assume you're working with the Reforged Legion, then?
Well, I suppose so. We're,
Oh yeah, that's the faction we chose.
Okay.
No, we didn't pick a faction or anything. Look, we're interested in the well-being of the people of Tannhauser generally, and for the time being, we've aligned ourselves with Mercy to pursue common interests.
I understand. So you're aligned with the Reforged Legion, then?
Sure.
He looks back at Mercy.
Yes, they like to talk with pillows.
In that case, I don't feel bad issuing the results of my search to all of you. Simply put, you would... Normally, these would be secrets reserved for me and my family. I trust Mercy because she heads the Reforged Legion the best any general possibly could. I should also state that does not come from a place of love, but a cool, cold, and calculating part of myself.
Oh, we've seen her in action. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm sure you're aware. He thinks on this a little bit more. Spreading this information could cause people to act rashly. The nature of these creatures has yet to be determined, and if you have come across some great discovery, I would prefer it stay bound to people you trust. He says, looking around at the group here. So, be careful, I suppose. I'll give you a copy of my reports. I'm just an alchemist. I can't ultimately decide what I do with my findings. I can only find them and hope that wiser minds know how to implement.
We're gonna use the knowledge to kill these things.
Looks over at Mercy. If that's what you want to do.
Well, the hope is to not only learn how to kill them more efficiently, but to even just understand where it came from, why it might... I realize why it's here would be difficult to learn from this, but honestly, anything at this point would be stellar.
We don't want to just kill them, we want to kill the source.
Or we want to discover a way to get rid of them without any death needing to take place. How about that, guys?
It's a little late.
Yeah, marshmallows going to war, that's what Marcus wants.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, if the possibility's there.
I will consider all of these viewpoints in my research.
Unrelated to Spires and Angels, I actually have something that I wouldn't mind getting a peer review on.
Oh, yes, that would be wonderful. Honey, I think you're going to find this to be fascinating. Harlock is quite talented at alchemy, though there seems to be, well, I'll leave it to her. She's got a better understanding of it.
Yeah, there's meat growing in my robot arm.
He takes a step over. Oh, so you are to a certain extent an automaton.
I'm working on it.
Fascinating. An understandable goal. I understand the consideration at the very least.
I appreciate your chill understanding.
He takes the arm. Alchemy contains a great amount of power. Exactly how to measure and match that power is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. So, if you are considering for yourself how to push the bounds of alchemy, as you clearly are, he says, picking up the arm and waving it around for a second. I suppose we have a lot of common ground.
See, I knew I'd like him.
He walks over to the table and then slams it down and immediately takes a look. He pulls out that same almost hourglass-like device, spins it one time, lets it sit, looks down at the arm. This is extensive.
You see the inside meat, right?
Yes, tell me
The
what...
meat on the inside?
Alchemy unlike other types of magic, alchemy is always one of it falls into one of two categories. He raises two fingers up behind him as he looks at the arm through almost like a jeweler's lens. There is the realm of pure experimentation. You are just trying stuff to see what happens. And there is intentional alchemy. You push formulas. You try to discover a new route to a goal. He turns back around. What was the goal of this arm?
It's actually pretty simple. I lost my last arm in a fight, and I was trying to replace it.
Yes, but there would not be meat inside of it if that was as simple as... What components did you add to this? What part did you believe had to be different? Because if you were aiming for pure mechanization, you could easily accomplish that.
I think that's the tricky part. I don't recall putting in anything different. I might have added a couple of different hinges or add-ons to make it more efficient, but at some point, the meat appeared. I didn't add
Well,
the meat.
let's run through your list of exposures to potentially magical threats. Have you been anywhere particularly supernaturally inclined? Have you been in areas of high magic, or have you been...
I think I've only been in places of high magic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to need a detailed list, actually. If you could write down, actually, the places you've been.
Well, specifically, we just came from Freark. It's where I'm from, but we visited.
Oh, Freark, horrific, awful place.
Awful, the worst. We seem to be going on some sort of hometown world tour.
Yeah, not intentional in any way, shape, or form.
Just happens to work like this sometimes.
Yeah, it just happens.
So, tell me exactly, what could you possibly have encountered in Freark that could have created a reaction like this? I want a list, and I can potentially narrow it down.
It might take a bit.
I can come up with a list. Most specifically, off the top of my head, Marcus, do you have any ideas in particular?
I mean, just the general business around Castle Crowhenge strikes me as likely. Oh, have you heard of Castle Crowhenge before?
Yes, awful place.
Very bad.
Don't worry, we killed it.
Yeah, we kind of killed it after making friends with its sworn guardian and renovating for a bit.
He blinks twice, and then just, like, those thoughts process in his head, and he processes, files them, and then moves on with his life. Well, that is a story I would be positively fascinated to hear, actually. But it's more or less irrelevant to what's going on right now. Or I guess not. If you were associated with the guardian of that place, perhaps they put some sort of magic in this, or through simple exposure to Castle Crowhenge itself.
More likely exposure to the temporal space, the chaos that kind of knits Castle Crowhenge together.
It got pretty warped at the end there.
It did.
Yeah, and I used that last arm, which I would think would be unrelated to this current arm, as sort of a catalyst to tear a hole in Crowhenge and kind of split it at the
He
seams.
stops and looks at you and then hops up on the table, crosses his legs, and like sort of drums his fingers on it for a second. And therein we have the purpose. So this purpose, the one that you've built this arm for, is a replacement for that other arm that you turned into some sort of trans-dimensional key.
No, that's way cooler than an arm.
Oh, I thought it was more of like, I don't know, an extra-dimensional arm wrestling lever.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yours sounds cooler, though. Agreed.
Okay, so if you rapidly converted your other... Hold on. He actually takes a look. Do you mind if I take a look at your shoulder?
Go ahead.
Did you properly clean the socket? Are you... He's taking...
Are you implying that I am dirty?
No. Yes. The socket is... He looks...
The socket is clean.
If you're messing around with something with that big of a... I'm sure you know the risks of using alchemy to create some sort of spatial distortion, right?
All too well.
It roots in the body. It does not go away very easily. Detoxification takes years upon years upon years.
I guess the first time that I did it, it wasn't on me specifically. This time was a little bit more on the fly. I didn't have time to think about it as much.
You Rest down here. I understand how ridiculous this sounds now that you have the burning pink nightlight, but rest, please, rest down here tonight in my lab. I'll need to actually run an extensive number of tests on you, your blood, your bones. This meat that's growing in your new arm, this might actually be some sort of consequence due to you messing around with, well, whatever Crowhenge was.
My consequences have actions.
The other way around, dear.
Will she be okay, though?
Looks at her.
This sounds more serious than I thought.
I was always slowly dying.
Well, we all are.
We can take a look at that as well, but if you're messing around with alchemy in your current state, it will likely take... If you're messing around with any form of magic that a temporal distortion can piggyback onto, you're going to be causing errors within it. Basically, I wouldn't be shocked if your mixtures were off right now. You're probably,
There have been errors in calculations. Are you implying that something inherent inside of me now is now throwing some sort of number off balance whenever I do calculations?
Yes, to put it simply, you're slightly attuned to chaos right now. If you were relying on the raw facts and figures of this world, as alchemy clearly does, you will find yourself unable to rely on your formulas.
I don't like that at all.
Marcus looks with concern over back at Gregor.
Is there a way to remedy that, or at least help her?
Looks back over at Harlock for a second. Yes, I believe so. Looks over at Marcus. I might be incorrect at guessing this, but you are a rather chaotic individual yourself.
Guilty as charged.
Right. Perhaps you can assist her.
How?
Takes a step forward. You're a tiefling. Your likelihood of having magic is through the roof as a result of that.
Oh, I'm extremely magic.
You're extremely magic. Fantastic. Well, you can more or less siphon away whatever energies are currently swirling around her, or focus them.
Can I?
Yes.
I've never really done something like that, but, well, I guess that's not entirely true.
Marcus, you think back about every iteration of wild magic you've used.
For sure. I guess what I mean is that I haven't really done it in this specific context to an ally.
Yes. Well, at least in the immediate, prevent yourself from using alchemy. It's not your ally. For now.
Yeah, you have to sleep now, Harlock.
You have to sleep, at least in the immediate.
We'll see about that.
I mean, think about
Harlock, please sleep.
Think about it this way. If you create an alchemical mixture, at the moment, whatever chaotic energy is raging around your body right now might move a decimal point. And that could put you into an everlasting sleep, or you may never sleep again.
Hey, Gregor, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
That's good. You, still feeling any drowsiness from oversleeping?
No, in fact, I feel more awake than I ever have.
That's great. That's great, buddy.
Like, ever.
Like ever.
Like, ever.
Okay.
These two both look at Gregor. Did you inject him with something by any chance?
Yeah.
What?
No.
What was your name again?
I am not sharing a tent with you again.
What was your name again?
Gregor Hartway.
You also will be sleeping downstairs in the lab tonight.
I just said I didn't want to share a tent.
Dear, turns around. Dear, I am so sorry. His entire attitude changes.
No, you're fine.
I believe we will be having something of a slumber party down here tonight.
Well, can I come?
Looks back at you.
I haven't really been contaminated or anything, I don't think.
Nope, haven't contaminated you.
I just kind of want to get in on that.
If I had my way, you would be sleeping on the lawn, Chaos Boy. He turns around and then looks back at Mercy. But I think a sleepover down here would be delightful. Like,
Are you okay? That was awful.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. How about you, though? How are you doing with this revelation?
No, I'm fine. This is the least of my worries.
Okay, it sounds like maybe it should actually be, like, moved up by a pip or two on your worries chart, because this seems like a big deal.
Nah.
No, I'm actually a little bit concerned just because of how much you seem to not care about this.
Well, it's about me. If it was about, like, you guys, then it would go up, but it's fine.
Yes, you matter. You're part of our group, and your well-being matters, and you being able to do what you love, which is alchemy, also matters.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss doing that. We'll figure it out.
Okay, right. And we're going to fix it. It's just, you're allowed to worry about yourself.
I mean, I could use a break from your alchemy.
What's that? You're more awake than you ever have been?
Yes.
Rested? Maybe ready to train at a higher level than you've been able to in the past few months?
Yes.
Okay. Don't talk back to me.
Look, all I'm saying, Harlock, is please just try and have a healthy amount of concern for your own well-being. You deserve that, and I don't want to see you just neglecting that entirely.
That's fair. Out of concern for your concern, I will be concerned.
Thank you. That's all well, that wasn't all I was asking for, but it'll do.
It'll work.
I hope that everything is okay with both of you.
I think
Me too.
he takes you to the side, Mercy. To tell you the truth, your new companions they are a mess of conflicting energies, is the best way to put it. They are, many are magically able, deeply so, actually. It's been a while since I've seen people this talented. I think for the safety of our daughters, they should remain upstairs, and I should keep them down here.
Really?
I think he's saying that we have conch-licking energy.
I haven't licked any conches.
I haven't licked any conch... Well, I haven't lately.
Gregor.
I don't know what I did anymore.
These two over here.
Dear, I guess I'm just a little confused. If you're concerned with them controlling their abilities, I've seen them have absolute control over it.
He stops. Really?
I mean, whenever Marcus went to use magic, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, and I do believe, admittedly, when Harlock was using alchemy and the sort, it seemed to work correctly for the most part, but obviously while she's here, we just ask her not to participate in such things. And Gregor's just a very young, strong man, so it's fine.
He looks genuinely shocked at you for a second. Really? They've had no issues.
I'm sorry, dear, I'm a bit confused. What is that odd?
He looks back over at Harlock and Marcus. The cause for concern is this. He hands you the arm. Imagine this. The purpose of alchemy is to bring something that you imagine into the world. At its core, it should be as simple as manifesting your desires, usually through machinery, usually through different chemical mixtures, but intent is a huge part of that. The fact that this is full of what appears to be a pulsating meat indicates something deeply wrong with either the intent or the execution. So, to a certain extent, I am worried if the execution seems fine, if they seem to have full mastery of their powers, I have to consider the intent. He thinks on that a little bit more.
So, what you mean by chances, while there was a pure intent, in this case, to create a portal or something, that's odd, there was something deeper that was interfering because it was a heat of the moment, something that was more desired.
Sort of, he nods along. It seems like, yes, exactly that. Your associate's interest in creating that portal seems to be, manifesting in a rather odd way in any new arm she creates. Gestures with this. That actually gives me a wonderful starting point. He smiles at you.
Mercy smiles and taps her chin. Is that why we have 2 goobers instead of 1?
He blushes.
Wow.
He blushes and he scratches the back of his head. Perhaps so. The miracles of alchemy are it's a delightful science.
And listen, this was a team effort, dear. Don't you worry.
he looks he has a pleasant smile on his face as he comes back around. There's some red in his cheeks, and then he looks at you. Harlock, I believe I got off on the wrong foot. I considered you. I'm used to working with the people of Tannhauser, and I considered you a patient to be treated rather than a colleague to be spoken with.
Well, consider yourself lucky that I'm hard of hearing, because I thought I heard you talking about how incompetent I am.
He shakes his head. Don't dream of it. He extends a hand. I would like to discuss your intent with creating these arms. You said you wanted a simple replacement. It's clear enough that something else is happening right now. So I need to walk through your process. I need to know what's happening there. It maybe some part of Crowhenge has wedged itself in the side of your mind, and I can work to exercise that out. He looks at you. Those scars appear to be from alchemical fire.
Correct?
Perhaps there are deeper issues we need to speak about as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I haven't really talked about it. Everybody here has seen it just because they went back in time and actually watched my trauma, but it might be cathartic for me to actually talk about it.
What?
He puts up a finger and then rubs his eyes. The world continues to be wondrous. Alchemy leaves scars on the soul as well. We can speak about it if you wish. And then he looks over to Mercy. Would you like to come along? You're far better at lending a sympathetic ear than I am. For me, subjects like this come up and it all becomes numbers and figures. He waves a hand.
Mercy takes his hand. Dear, whatever you need me to do, I'm happy to assist, especially if it means I can help you folks get through some tough times, because already, Harlock, we have made excellent progress.
Hey, Doc, did Harlock poison me?
Looks at you. Yes, absolutely.
But out of love.
Harlock, in my home, as mom, you will not poison anyone else.
I said I wouldn't do any alchemy, so kind of implied.
Well, there's been plenty of times my little marshmallows have told me something they will not do, and I assure you, they're doing it.
Okay, Mom.
Good.
Looks over, Faria looks over to you. I didn't realize we'd adopted another.
So, is that like an option? Obviously, not this batch. They like.
Oh yes, of course.
These are work partners, but
His expression softens up. Maybe after the war ends.
Got a bad history with parents.
These two.
Don't worry, we'll talk about it.
Mercy. And you can tell, even to the side where it's I got a bad history with parents, these two are in their own little world.
Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Harlock. Honestly, it doesn't sound like you're the only one who's had complications with family, and she looks past you to look at Marcus. And I don't want to push for anything, because I realize that topic can be uncomfortable, but I do think it is important to discuss, especially with someone such as myself, and of course my husband, because we are only here to help you as friends.
She's right. Gregor, you should talk to them about your family, son.
Also, Faria looks over. Also, if your mind has been altered by the horrors of extraplanar spaces and mind-warping geometry, I owe it to you as a fellow alchemist to tease out those issues.
And I'd appreciate that.
He sort of smiles at that, and then walks over. Well, I have kept everybody here for far too long. I'm sure you're sick and tired of all this boring alchemy talk. Let's talk something a little more exciting. Dinner.
Ooh.
I couldn't agree more. Dear, I don't know exactly what you're thinking for it, but are you thinking maybe just a good stew? Or what would you have in mind?
Taco night?
Tacos?
If you don't have anything already made, I can do it.
All of these are valuable options. I was thinking of preparing some sort of a steak. He walks backwards talking to you all. Steak is something of a specialty of mine, and I've been actually working on bump. Silence. Dead silence.
So, remember?
Dear,
Yeah.
is there something behind me right now?
Dear, I don't want to alarm you.
Mhm.
You'll need to be so very careful. So very slow.
Is it a spider? You have to tell me if it's a spider. You know I hate them.
It's a little bigger than a spider.
I assure you it's not a spider.
Oh, thank goodness. He relaxes.
Yeah. Almost enough eyes, though.
Whoa.
He relaxes, hearing it's not a spider, and then just slowly turns around. He freezes. Like a goat. Like a fainting goat, he just freezes staring at this thing. Same expression, same everything else. Mercy, when you get your husband real good, he has this habit of entering information overdrive and just turning off for a few seconds.
This is my favorite because this is exactly what happened the first time I kissed him. Come here, you.
Oh.
You pick him up like a cardboard cutout of Marcus's dad and walk him down the hallway.